Hello, I'm Jocelyn Chesson. 5 university organizations and the Batten School hosted the Get Out the Vote rally Tuesday, urging students to get to the polls on November 8th. The event featured speakers from different political camps, but each representative said the real concern is what happens after the election. We talked to a handful of speakers about whether the American people will come together in the wake of such a divisive election cycle.
How can we heal when we have had a party where someone has been able to win through demagoguery, through insults, through racism? So that's very hard to come back from.
Political Action Director of the Black Student Alliance, Weston Gobar, said this is the first election in 50 years without the full enforcement of the Voting Rights Act. He said Trump's call for his supporters to intimidate voters at the polls compromises the future of American democracy.
So once there's an attempt to take away rights from one group, then it's an attempt to take rights away from all of us. Progress is not linear, but progress is on the ballot this election cycle.
During the third presidential debate, Trump dodged a question about whether he'll accept the outcome of the election if he loses. University Democrats Outreach Chair Elizabeth Parker said his refusal would rile up angry supporters.
I think that was kind of frankly a dumb thing to say. That you're not going to accept the results of an election. I think that makes for a very dangerous post-election kind of like wrap-up. I would really, urge his supporters to not listen to that advice.
College Republicans representative Adam Kimelman urged voters to look past Trump's polarizing persona, saying claims that our democracy is at stake are overblown.
I do think that the American system is stronger than that, and I do think the will of the American people is stronger than that.
Despite 2 widely controversial presidential candidates, organization leaders at the Get Out the Vote rally here in Charlottesville don't think this will decrease voter turnout on November 8th.
Fear is the biggest motivator, and people are scared of both candidates. I think a lot of people will vote, and there's a lot at stake in this election.
Former Albemarle voter registrar Jim Heilman argues that because of the high-profile presidential candidates, voters will turn out in droves.
It's got so much media attention on a presidential election, and that's the first thing on people's minds when they wake up on November 8th.
But he pushes for these students to not just vote in this presidential election, but in every election to come. Events like what we just saw represent the American people's fear for the future of our democracy. On the surface, the Get Out the Vote rally brought the different parties together to simply emphasize the importance of voting. But what we saw among the speakers was a real sense of unease about partisan tensions in our political climate going forward. From Charlottesville, I'm Jocelyn Chesson.